y'all, I'm recovering from COVID, so forgive my voice a little bit. We're going to be doing the V waistband. I have a seam down the center of mine. That is just because I ran out of fabric and I needed to put a seam there to get it out of the fabric that I had. We're folding our waistband piece in half horizontally. You can go ahead and baste it together like that if you're a beginner or if your fabric is just extra slippery. If not, we're going to put our front center notches together and then pin what is left over on the left and the right side from our front center notch. And that's just where our waistband overlaps in the front. And then we're going to baste around the entire waistband along these raw edges. I definitely wouldn't skip this. You can skip the first base like I did if your fabric is easy to work with or if you are not a beginner. But no matter what, I would not skip this basting stitch. Basting these overlapping sections is really a necessity. It's just a lot of layers to keep perfectly aligned while sewing the waistband to the pant. So I highly recommend not skipping this step. I'm always a big fan of basting stitches. It's really quick and easy to throw on, and it usually ends up saving you a lot of time and makes your final product look better. So highly recommend basting these layers together. Makes the next step of attaching it to the bottom part of the pants so much easier. Next up, we're going to grab our bottom pants. And we don't even have to mark anything on this V waistband. I've notched and marked everything for you. So our front center notch is going to align to the front center seam of your pants. And we're going to pin or clip. And then the center back of your V waistband is going to align to the center back seam of your pants. And then I have a side seam notch on the V waistband, and those just align obviously to your side seam. So it's really quick and easy. You don't even have to find quarter points like you normally do on most waistbands. It is very slightly smaller than the pant, so we are going to have to stretch it to fit as we sew. It's just a slight stretch, so that basting stitch should not bother you as you're stretching to fit. You should still be able to stretch it enough that you don't need to pop that basting stitch as you're pulling it. It's just a very slight stretch. If you're doing an adult, it stretches slightly more than the youth, and that's because the adult is a more hourglass shape. The waist is much smaller than the hip, whereas the youth, which is what I'm doing, is a more rectangular shape figure. And that's it. We just stitched on with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. It is important to keep that half inch seam allowance. You have that overlap section, which gets pretty thick. So make sure you go nice and slow with your machine, especially if you're using a serger like me. Let that serger kind of take on that thickness at a little slower pace so it can get through all those layers. Now we're going to press our waistband up and our seam down. You can definitely top stitch this if you prefer. If not, you're done. It's a super quick, easy V waistband, and I can't wait to see yours.